As with so many recent Disney movies, gullible people trip over themselves in their rush to praise Encanto for its embrace of diversity, failing to see that the diversity here is truly only skin deep. The filmmakers go out of their way to make sure a wide range of skin tones, body types, and hair types are represented in the central family. But under its attractively inclusive surface, this is a film about genetic superiority, how some people are just naturally better than everybody else. Defenders of this movie say it's about generational trauma, when the reality is that it's about generational wealth, both material and genetic. The story of the Madrigals begins with the fascist trope of the heroic sacrifice, which wins the family a God-given blessing that annihilates their enemies and allows them to set up shop as the local aristocrats, complete with a magic manor house to dazzle their peasant neighbors.
It's bigger on the inside!
Meanwhile, they get to flex an array of heritable superpowers. Simply by being born into this family, children receive superior strength, beauty, vision, hearing, and more. Only by birth, though. One does not become, but is only born a Madrigal. Marrying into the family doesn't get you any magic. Look at Mirabel's parents. The film plays for laughs the contrast between her mother, the pure-blooded true Madrigal with her healing powers, and her father, the hopeless klutz who is a Madrigal in name only. This division makes clear that the magic is just a metaphorical way of preserving eugenicist ideas and sneaking them to a mass audience, in an era where the biological concept of race has been discredited and supposedly consigned to the dustbin of history with the Nazis who catastrophically embraced it. Mirabel's great pain is simply the nightmare of her seeming failure to inherit the good genes that keep the bloodline pure and the magic flowing. The only thing that threatens the stability of the magic is conflict within the family, their failure to remain true to each other and work together in perfect harmony. Which sounds nice enough until we remember that this too is a fascist trope. The community bound together by blood and soil and synchronized like a colony of polyps or the gears in a watch. And then, even when it all comes crashing down and the magic is lost, just when it seems like the movie might be about to take a democratic turn, the happy serfs rebuild the Madrigal's house for them, but are still excluded from the magic when it returns. Because of course they are, while Mirabel assumes her rightful place among her genetic equals.
And the greatest honor of our family has been to use our blessings to serve this beloved community.
Dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes.
Sorry, that snuck out there. What I meant was...
At this point, my interpretation has generated stakes that make it seem more important than it is.
You have to stop!
Now that I've put in doubt whether it's even okay to like this movie, well-meaning people might feel they have to grapple with what I'm saying, despite the fact that my argument is at best a clever bit of rhetoric relying heavily on generalization and omission. But I don't think all or even most people who post these kinds of interpretive takes are just rage-baiting for clicks or malign in their intentions. Why are there half a dozen inflammatory videos about how beloved works of art are problematic for every one video where a genuine attempt is made to explain what's good about it?
I don't really have a good reason, but if I did, you'd be like, that's a good reason.
Here's a non-exhaustive list of reasons I can think of. Reason number 1. It's fucking easy. Substantive, original criticism takes time to formulate. You have to sit with a work of art and feel your way into it and think hard about what it's doing and how it does what it does.
What if it doesn't work?
By contrast, it took me roughly 12 seconds to come up with my little takedown of Encanto. Once you've learned the basic moves of the game of suspicious interpretation, it requires very little effort to construct one. This part of the video you're watching now took a lot of thought to write. That first part practically wrote itself. And to be clear, I like Encanto a lot. I only chose it because it's a very recent, self-consciously PC movie, to reinforce my point that you can make absolutely any movie out to be the most insidious thing imaginable if that's what you set out to do. Reason number 2. Coming up with a real opinion about a work of art is scary. Aesthetic judgments are messy, subjective, personal, and notoriously difficult to articulate. On the other hand, judgments that amount to, this movie is problematic, feel much safer. because you get to tie your potentially flimsy opinion on the artwork to an easy slam dunk moral opinion, like racism is bad.
Every time.
And if you can make your interpretation of a movie appear equivalent to your belief that racism is bad, it can make it feel like anyone who disagrees with you is only doing so because of some moral failing on their part.
I don't know why you weren't given a gift, but it is not an excuse for you to hurt this family.
Reason number 3. People genuinely think it's what intellectual criticism is supposed to be. They've been exposed to so much of it that they either don't know how to talk about art in any other way, or are afraid that if they do, they won't be taken seriously.
I just don't know how to.
We need more critics making content that exhibits intellectual rigor and elevates and promotes the works they discuss. I try my best to be one of them with this channel, which is why I pretty much exclusively make videos analyzing and celebrating things I think are good, rather than tearing into things I think are bad. Which leads me to reason number 4. People tend to feel guilty for enjoying things.
Go on. Apologize.
And this kind of interpretation is their way of atoning, imagining you're doing your part to make the world better when all you're really doing is needling other people by telling them it's bad that one random thing they enjoy isn't helping to solve some arbitrary problem, however real and serious that problem may be.
I will never be good enough for you. Will I?
All that manages to do is ensure that there's no real pleasure in life. I'd rather people felt guilty for enjoying something that's badly made than for enjoying something that you could argue is problematic, which is literally everything that human beings have created, and always will be.
I like the new foundation. It isn't perfect. Neither are we. That's true.
As a great 18th century philosopher, who unsurprisingly wrote some pretty racist things at times, but is no less worth reading for that, once remarked, "Out of the crooked timber of humanity, nothing truly straight can be made."